I'm going to call Stuart Nash.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Excuse me, Mr. Chair, I tend to agree with that, that last member's definition around harm caused by and harm from. One, to me, is causation, and the other is a lot more passive. It doesn't matter if you're in deep financial stress and you turn to gambling to get yourself out of that financial stress, no matter what that may be. That is still harm caused by gambling. You get yourself into trouble from gambling, but I actually agree with my colleague Mr. Hipkins. I think one is a lot wider and one is about the causes of gambling, which is really what we should be dealing with in this bill. Harm from gambling, well, you know, it doesn't have the same ring or the same causation than harm caused by. But that's the last thing I'll say on that. Mr. Speaker, gambling it's a rather insidious disease. I don't think there's anything good about gambling or enjoyable, or I don't mean to sound like a wowser, but you know, there are 50,000 New Zealanders who have a gambling addiction. And for every person with a gambling addiction, Mr. Chair, there's probably 5 or 6 who are affected by it. And they include the employer that might have had money stolen, or the family members, and so on and so forth. The media is full of stories, Mr. Chair, of people who actually have stolen, whose lives have been ruined, who have lost marriages, lost their houses, lost their jobs, let alone substantial amount of money in their self-respect, and turned to other forms. Excuse me. But what I would like to talk about is 5A and the definition of gambling machine. And I wasn't aware until Mr. Hipkins mentioned that there is actually another gambling bill on the order paper. Because when I had a look at this, Mr. Chair, it really is a 2007 bill, because even though in 2007 we had the internet and we had all those, you know, whiz-bang devices that we've got now, gambling really hadn't come to the fore on the internet until the last 2 or 3 years. And in fact, what we're finding, Mr. Chair, is a lot of people aren't actually going to casinos because there is a stigma associated with playing the pokies or putting money in those slot machines. But they can now do it in the comfort of their own home, in the privacy of their own home. So somewhere we need to include on here something to do with the internet. And I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, or maybe the Minister can tell me, will this bill come before Parliament yet again with another amendment as technology continues, or is the new bill that is actually on the order paper about internet banking and the regulation around that? Because of course, not internet banking, internet gambling and the regulation around that. Or get banking.
See it as
That's true. That's true. What we have, Mr. Chair, is the other part of internet gambling, which is so insidious, of course, is there is no tax paid on it. Now, people say that the best way to launder money is obviously go to the casino, and that's how you do it. But at least Sky City and other operators like that actually do pay tax. Whereas internet gambling, there is actually no tax paid. And it's a major concern, and as the Minister of Revenue, as a former Minister of Revenue will know, the impact of the internet has had a significant effect on the amount of revenue the government can collect. And with the amount of money spent on gambling, the tax implications are significant. So, Minister, can you just inform me, the bill that we do have on the order paper, is it about regulating internet banking, or will there need to be SOPs around this that bring this in? Because here it talks about a device whether wholly or partly mechanical or electronically operated, and we all have a picture of those. You go down to the casino, there are thousands of them. That is adapted or designed and constructed for gambling and is played or confers the right to participate, whether totally or partly, by inserting money into it or by direct or indirect payment of money by any other means. So to me, Mr. Chair, this precludes internet gambling. And whilst Mr. Rick Barker, the Honourable Rick Barker, was a man of a lot of vision and foresight, I don't think even Mr. Barker in his time would have foreseen the growth of the internet gambling industry and actually how many people can play it and the insidious nature that it is. In fact, in this day and age, you can even buy your lotto tickets online. So it's not just the overseas sites that are controlled by the guys operating out of Macau. This is actually New Zealand Lotteries Commission. What we have done, Mr. Chair, is made it easier and easier over the years, almost not incrementally, almost quantum leaps for people to gamble away their money. But as a consequence of that, I see that a whole lot of legislation is going to have to be introduced to regulate this industry and actually keep people from harm. As mentioned, there are 50,000 people in this country with a problem gambling situation, and we will need to do something about that. But in the meantime, Mr. Chair, I am keen to know what the definition of a gambling machine is also, because subclause 5B talks about gambling.
The Honourable Peter Dunn.
Mr Chairman, following some informal discussion, can I seek the leave of the committee